Hello, everyone. This is Maria from mariascraftingcorner.com. Welcome to another not Paper Pumpkin Kids, Simple Stampin' Sunday video. So, first of all, let's cross our fingers and hope that our live does not have internet glitches today. I'm just going to let you guys know that if it does, I will keep going with the live. I will not even pay attention. And what will happen is I will then download the video and upload it again. Hey, Carrie, how are you? I am just trying to not get as distracted as I got the other day while I was doing the video. And it was just, you guys all know it was kind of like crazy. Let's just say it was crazy. So, I have been telling you guys for a little bit that I have been working on coloring, and I have decided I'm going to make the class. So that is the first thing. I think that the way I'm going to do it is more of a community based option. I don't know how to say it better. So my thought again is I think I have decided for creating a Facebook group and kind of working there because, hey, Elizabeth, hey, Miss Judy, how are you? Thank you for sharing, Elizabeth. I feel that the easiest way to make this is for us to have a way or a place where we can talk and share and say and ask questions, right? Which usually is not as simple to do in a live. Hi, Lynn, how are you? So, my thought is if I make this, it has to be in a way, in a place that allows interaction. And the only place that I can think of is really Facebook. So I will be creating a group. So the piece I am not so sure about is charging because I am so bad at that. And that's the piece I'm working. But I already have some materials to work with. Let me show you so you guys can have an idea. And I'll explain what these are for in the group. Hi, Brenda. How are you? Hi, Adrian. Let me see. Something like this. So I have this so we can work with the blenders and you get to know your blenders and kind of like the mix and matches of the blenders, right? I will show you there what I do to get to know my blenders as best as I can and then get the most out of them. So that is in the works. I am very, very excited about it, partially because you guys know I love my coloring. And just in case, guys, I do have some extra coffee here, so I'm gonna drink coffee here and there because we all want my poor brain to be somewhere positive. I did check the internet and it has been flowing nicely. So I hope we don't have issues. Now, I want to say this. Yes. Hello, Susie. It would be a very planned. So here's my thought is this. And guys, we are talking, I'm going to take a couple more minutes talking about the coloring club. I have to come up with a name and I also am not good at names. So, my thought is this one. We'll have a video, 1 or 2 videos a month. I'm not sure how that's going to go, and it kind of will depend on how much I can stretch my time. But we'll have 1 or 2 videos a month. We will have a stamp set that we've chosen from Stampin' Up. I'm going to be using only Stampin' Up products. The first video will be more of a educational video. And I am not sure. Hi, Anita. How are you? Hello, Louis. How are you? And thank you for that super kind comment you left on the other video. That was very, very kind. I don't know. I think that I am not a teacher. So I want to say that out loud, right? I am not a teacher. I am not an artist. Etc. Etc. But there's things I've learned through the years. I think it's worth for you guys to know, right? And so that's going to be like quote unquote educational. Um, and so we'll review some other papers. We'll review the Copics, so you kind of have a clue what the Copics look like. For those of you that have Copics, you have Copics and you know how they do. But those of you don't, I'll show you a little bit of differences between one and the other. Um, we'll review some papers, just because I feel that it would not be fair. Hey, how are you? Oh, that's a wonderful name. Look at that name. Thank you, Susie. Oh my God, that is so cool. Guys, whoop, whoop, we have a name. Thank you, Susie. I appreciate that. Yes, Tara, I am live. I am hoping that the gremlins of the internet do not attack me today. And just an update, I have not found the stamp yet. I don't know where it went. So, and I'm going to focus again. I don't know where it went. Hey, friend, how are you? So, yeah. So, Maria's coloring corner. Whoop, whoop. We have a name. It's coming. And so, my thought is that. Sorry, Carrie, I got distracted. Bottom line, we'll have a educational video where we're going to talk about some of those other things, and then we're going to choose a, yeah, very good, Susie, you're very quick. That is true, Miss Judy. Hey, Miss Joan, how are you? And then we're going to have a stamp set that we're going to choose a month, and we're going to have one video a month. Let's start with one video, and we're going to color that stamp set. My thought keeps being, let's try to do it, and one of the reasons why I think of Facebook, through Messenger, right? So instead of doing like just a video where you guys are on the side kind of setting, we're all together, kind of like a video conference, right? It may be Zoom at some point. I may like try to get into Zoom. I just don't know how it will work really well with my software here. So there's a few technical details I have to figure out. My God, me too. So anyways, that is coming, and I will have all the details spelled out. And I was going to say a document, but that sounds too proper, and it's not probably going to be that proper. But I'm going to have all the details spelled out so you guys know exactly what you're signing up. We again going to be coloring. I mean, we're going to be working with blenders in the beginning just because it's simpler, but we are going to be doing all sorts of playing just because I like that, right? You guys know I love playing. You see my ink pads as coloring, just paint. We're going to be using coloring pencils. We'll do blending brushes. I mean, we're going to play all we want. So that's coming. So excited. Okay, let's move to the stamping table, to the crafting table. Now, well, it's also stamping table, I guess. Oh, Tara. Okay, good to know. You know what? It's expensive, right? If I wanted to do like the Zoom thing, I will have to actually like logging it, and it's just too expensive for me. Like I again, I don't make a whole lot of money in these businesses, so I'll keep thinking of Facebook just because it's free and it has some bandwidth to use the messenger with several people, right? So let's start with that. Okay, what are we going to be working today with? We're going to be working with, I know you guys know I love this little monkey, but with our little monkey, um, hence coloring. And we are going to be having some fun with the bright skies, okay? And not with the stamp sets, I'm talking about the dies. And I left the big die here, so let me bring those. Okay, so I have this one. Yes. So I have a couple of questions. Great, Miss Judy. So we can chat that way. Um, Susie is asking, will you provide prior at least a day ahead what you'll be using? Yes, yes, we will do that. Um, Thank you, Elizabeth. Yes, we will have enough time to for us to look into something similar. For example, things that come to my brain just because I have it here. Oh, it's not here actually. Ha! That's so funny. Let me see. Because I know I have it here. Okay. So like Garden Meadow has these cartwheel and then these. I know that in the past we've had something similar. I don't have the other ones. Maybe Google Meet's good one, Carrie. I don't know what's that is a great idea, Carrie. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Sorry. But that's a great idea. Again, the platform I will be using has something that I have to like do more research and decide on. But going back to Susie's question, so if you don't have these cartwheels or this card specifically, then you can probably look into your stamp sets. And I will be using only Stampin' Up stuff, guys, because I'm the demonstrator and I have to abide by the policies. But if you have any other card or any other thing that looks similar and you can just bring it up, it probably will have more or less the same coloring options. So, okay, going back here. So I am using these clouds, this one and this one. I have another one there. Maybe we'll use it. We'll see. But these are the main dies. Thank you, Anita. So exciting. I have these dies and these are the ones we're going to be using. And we are going to be using these dies as trees. Foliage, I guess, not trees. Yeah, let me get started. I have a piece of Pretty Peacock, and this is 8.5 by 5.5, same as usual. I already have it scored in the middle, which is 4.25, and I'm gonna bring my bone folder to help that crease that fold, and we're gonna leave that on the side. Ahead of time, I had cut another piece. This is 1/8 smaller, so 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, which is going to be our first layer. And our second layer is going to be a piece of these gorgeous, and I just forgot the name of it. These gorgeous paper. Hello, Miss Judy. I'm so glad. That is called Delightful Floral. And the minute I saw this piece of paper, and it has two, I thought, oh my God, this is the jungle piece of paper, right? And so I kept thinking of it, right? But there's not enough. Let me show you here. So there's not enough leaves. Like it has a few leaves in this set to actually create like foliage, right? Without a lot of work anyways. And so I just left it. And these kind of has a pattern and it doesn't, so I don't mind. And this one is just 1/8 smaller. So this is the base of the card we're going to be using. So Joan, let's not. It's okay. It's okay, Miss Judy. We're all learning together, first of all. And Joan, let me think about the platform. That is a piece. Miss Joan is saying just that, she uses other other platforms, but she has not used Google Meet, so it is fine. Let me just figure out a platform that will work for most of us. And if there is, like a little learning curve, we can totally work it together. I am not an expert, a technological expert at all. I use Teams for work, for example. I've used WebEx. I've used Zoom. I was planning on getting Zoom actually at some point. I was planning to get it once I had like a team. When I thought, okay, I need my team members. But then I figured we have a Facebook group. Let's use Messenger for the meetings, right? So I think that's what's going to end up happening with my specific group, so I don't have to rent another platform. So we'll see. Okay, so this is the basic one. card base. I do have a piece of crumb cake here, right, guys? And I actually have, and I just draw, of course you can't see. I just draw what it looks, a tree looks like in my brain, right? So I have mentioned 100 times, I am not an artist, right? So, you know, like the little trees. And I'm going to bring a piece of white cardstock so you can see what I'm doing. So I have just a tiny piece in here. So, you know, just like your regular tree, right? That is not as, I'm not that bad drawer, but that is exactly what I did in that piece of crumb cake. Oops, I'm mixing matching. So I have my tree trunk in here, which I am going to go ahead and cut, guys. Also be mindful, I am not a good cutter. So those are two things that I am not really good at. And I'm okay with that, right? We all have our strengths. That was just messy. I shouldn't look away from what I'm cutting. And there we go. I am going to cut this because this is too long, of course, right? Our piece here, so the card base for our little jungle is 5 1/4. So that's what I'm going to cut. I'm going to bring these and I'm going to cut these. I'm going to line these as best as I can to 5 1/4. And you guys can guess that was 5 1/4 for whatever weird reason. So yeah, there's that. That happens. Since I have some lines still in here, you can see it a little bit. I'm going to turn this around and we are going to, this one did not look very good. I'm just going to try to ease up that. That works. And this is going to be our trunk, and we are going to bring some blending brushes to play with. Okay, so let me bring another piece. This is from that Traumatic Friday. And this is not going to take very much or very long. I have two blending brushes. One that is the one I use mostly with early espresso because that's such a dark color, and then I have another one that I use for regular just our regular brownish colors, and by that I mean like pecan pie and crumb cake. Yes, you got it. So I have to say, guys, I absolutely love this color combo for trees. I've used it a lot, and I'm going to start with the pecan pie. I'm glad you can see it, Miss Tara. And I am just going to go a little bit crazy in here, right? As you guys can tell, crumb cake is a good, more neutral color that it is easy to color. And so you can create really whatever you are thinking of. I am so glad that Tara is finding out how I'm going to do this, but it's good to find out other ways to use our dies. Another thing I want to say before I keep going is, okay, I completely forgot. It's fine, guys. Well, I'll keep going doing what I'm doing here, and then I'll keep talking. So I spaced out what I wanted to say. So very, very simple blending. I am not going to do this super complicated, right? That's not the goal. But I am going to give, so this is going to be down, right? So the bottom edge, and into this area, I'm going to make it a little darker. Why? Because I am playing there a little bit with the light, right? So if the foliage is going to be on top of here, this has to be darker, right? And I'm just going to bring some extra colors in here. I made a mistake. That kind of happens every so often, but let's try to fix it. There we go. Well, I'm making the mistake of having the two inks together, and so it's harder for me to pay attention to what I'm doing. So back again here, I'm really trying to darken these area, because this is, again, the area that's going to be covered by the leaves. And, well, that is our first piece. And now I'm going to bring, okay, let me close this. So the paper has, let me bring it back here, Pretty Peacock, and it has a Parakeet Party. Those are the matching colors. And so, although I like this very much, I want to bring, of course, those two, and I'm going to bring something in between. And that in between is going to be my shaded spruce, because garden green is too yellow. This one's a little bluer, and it's easier to work with the Parakeet Party blending with the yellows than trying to bring up something that looks more like the darker color. So I don't know if that makes sense. Oh, hi, how are you? Welcome from Germany. So I'm going to put those away. I already have my other blending brushes here. And why are we going to use blending brushes? Kind of going back to starting learning about color and dimension and all that good stuff, because I don't even know the names. So let me bring this, okay, back in here so you guys can see what I'm doing. So this is one of my big clouds. I align it. These measures for white. So I cut it at 4 here and in half. And this is probably, you can tell, it's probably like what, 2.5 inches more or less. And this is going to be the back of my tree. Now this one I'm going to really deepen with the Pretty Peacock. And then on top of that, so let me see, my tree trunk is going to come here, and I'm going to put this a little bit here, and then we'll cut this. That's fine. And we're going to really see that. But my tree trunk is going to come here. And then on top with some dimensionals, we're going to bring another one like that. So we're creating that depth feel, right? Something like this. I don't know where we're going to put it. Let's say like that with dimensionals. And then we're going to cut this one together. And this one is going to go probably like this. So we have different layers or different sizes of layers, okay? And that's how we're going to create our little tree. And then we're going to bring our monkeys and place them there having some good old fun. So let's move that out of the way. Now that you guys have an idea of what we're making, I'm going to bring my Pretty Peacock. And yes, I have 3 different brushes, which may be confusing, but Pretty Peacock is not your regular green, right? It's blue-green. And the other, so I have one for darker and one for lighter inks. But again, Pretty Peacock is kind of color on its own. And so I just keep that one for Pretty Peacock. I know that's probably too much, but that, I mean, like, that makes it easier for me. And yes, I could be using my my glass mat, and I am not, just because it creates such a glare, right? We know I always use, and that's why I always bring some of those overused grids in the past that I've used in the past. And I'm starting with these colors. So this is Parakeet, because it's going to make it so much easier to build our darker green on that, on a color green than a white. This is not very important because nobody's really going to see it, but just because, right? So I'm bringing this, and then I'm going to push in a little bit of that shaded spruce. And let me remove all my little pieces before there's some mayhem in there. Some of that shaded spruce, which, see, it's a kind of a similar color, but then we create a more realistic green. That's what I think, right? So bring the Pretty Peacock. We're going to darken some areas, and then bring some shaded spruce just to create it. It's just a little bit of fun. I'm not going to do anything else. This is going to go in the bottom. Okay. Now for the next one, I'm going to remove the Pretty Peacock completely. So the next layer is going to be one of these clouds, and I'm just going to work with the Parakeet Party and the shaded spruce. So kind of like we did before, I'm going to bring the shaded spruce towards the bottom just to, I have to be honest with you guys. Look at my fingers already. I like when the edges are dark. I know I mentioned that last on our last video. For whatever reason, I love when they are dark. So, and now I'm going to bring a good dose of a Parkit Party. And I'm going to make this darker. Okay, and so I'm blending all those two colors. So now what I'm going to bring is more shaded spruce, but from the top, right? Kind of creating those shadows, because we are going to have some shadows, and this is completely random. There's no real rhyme or reason for this. Okay. So now this is a little bit lighter than this one, right? So you will be able to see, your eye will be able to interpret that this is the back because it's darker, and this is a little bit lighter, so this is the front. And now let's bring, and I'm going to color all this together, and I just have not decided exactly how it's going to go, but let me bring this back in here. So for sure, I know I want this kind of cricket a little bit like this, okay? And it has to be 4. And I think I want these edge here, so I have more room to play. So I think that I know that I want this from these. Let me put it straight for 1 minute. There. And actually, yeah, I'm going to do it this way anyway. Sorry, guys. So this is the front. I was thinking if I could go from the back, but I think I would rather leave this. And so I'm going to cut this at 4 so it all matches. And I'm going to move these in here. So I know that I want this corner all the way to this. This is kind of the corner I want, okay? Let's do that. And if not, hey, we can always cut a little bit more. So here are my 2 little dots. So I'm going to make them a little darker because I'm barely seeing them. And I'm going to cut these 2, okay? Just because I'm a little bit on the scary side. There it is. There's I am going to cut a tiny bit extra. So I'm going to cut maybe like a 1/14 of an inch. So a 1/4 of an inch extra. There it is. See the 4th here? Just so if I'd rather cut a little bit more than not. And now I'm going to cut these at 4. So here's my 4. And let me see which one I want best. I think I want this way. So let's see. I'm going to cut these on this side. So there's my 4. And I'm just going to cut that little tiny piece, okay? So this is going to be our front. Our front is going to have a whole lot more of our parakeet party, of course, right? Because it's the one in the front, so light. And I'm starting with a whole lot of that parakeet party all around, darkening those edges because that's how I like it. But that's what I'm going to bring. And I'm going to bring a smaller blending brush. I don't have a whole lot of smaller blending brushes, to be fully honest with you guys. And none of them have, hello, Cherry, how are you? Oh, it's fine. You're going to have fun. Well, I'm going to bring my big brush, but I'm just going to be very careful here because it's bigger, right? So I'm just really cleaning in here, and I'm going to put just tiny bits of that shaded spruce, right? Just a little bit. Yes, always on the front, but, something along those lines. Just little bits. And that way we have created, let me remove this so there's no mayhem. We don't want any more mayhem. There it is. All of them are there. So now we have 3 different, quote unquote, layers of our tree, right? And that's how this is going to look, kind of setting, okay? So the lightest in the front, the one in the middle, and then the darkest in the back, so we create that idea of depth, okay? Let me remove our very messy thingy because that actually, let me do this, guys. I'm gonna clean my hands a little bit with my chamois, because we all know that that's just mayhem waiting to happen. Okay, and now we just put our card together. So the first thing I'm going to do though is I am going to bring my first layer, so that darker one, and we're going to adhere this with some glue. I know, guys, I know. Move into the glue club. And again, this already cut, so it should fit fairly okay, right? And now I'm going to bring this friend, because I really don't want this all the way to the top, to be fully honest. So I'm going to bring this, and nobody's going to see it, kind of the same, right? Thank you, Anita. I appreciate it. So I'm just going to glue our tree. And yes, I am gluing. I'm not gluing all the way to the bottom, because I can put the glue here in a little bit before or after I cut it. So I'm going to put that there, right? And then we're going to come down in here and we're going to cut that piece. Okay. Guys, I'm getting so risky with the scissors. It's kind of funny and scary. Am I going to create a standing point? And most likely I will. And I will be using those pieces that we just cut from our tree, right? This was the piece from there. So we may be using this one. I'll just cut a little bit, and let's do that real quick since we are talking about it. And I'm just going to come with all my blending brushes and use whatever I have in there, so I don't have to reopen any, hopefully, anyways. And if we do, it's fine, right? Nothing else, it's fine. Let's see if this works. So no. It was a good idea, almost, but it was not. So I'm gonna use just these two. Again, this is Shaded Spruce and Parakeet Party. And kind of like we talked before, right? Top with the yellowish, the Parakeet Party, and then Shaded Spruce on the bottom. And I know this looks pretty messy right now, but that's the beauty of having blending brushes, is you can go back and readjust your tones in a way that you feel pleased with. And I'm still going to bring a little bit more of Shaded Spruce towards the bottom. And that's it. We have, yes, totally. Oh, you're so totally right. Oh, thank you, Cherry. I appreciate that. Totally right. So Tara is saying that piece that we just cut, that I don't know where it went, and probably, is hiding there with our with our other stamp that I don't know where it went from Friday, could totally be a stump. So if it appears before the live is done, I may put it on the inside of the card. Okay, guys, and this has to be I like these a little bit better, but I like this edge a little bit better. And I am sorry, guys, I'm gonna bring there and color that edge. Okay, so I am going to cut this side because I like it better. And we said this has to be at 4, and there is at 4. I like more the idea of like a steep curve than not. No matter what, I'm gonna cut a tiny bit of these, probably like an eighth. And I'll tell you why, guys, why. And it is because I don't want the foliage to be so super close. Oh, thank you. I am so glad you like it, Louise. Isn't it funny? So you can see what I'm saying. So it's not too close to this. If it was a little bit bigger, but I just want a little smaller. Okay, so we're going to deal with this here in a minute. Let's get going. Now that we have these set up, I really want to adhere this in here. Before it was because I had to cut this, really. So I got to tell you guys, so this idea was born because I was working with the Jungle Pals. Yeah, Jungle Pals. So the celebration one. I am making a card. That was the card, one of the cards for Tuesday, and I was like, so I don't know if you noticed. So the dice, the dice are to die for. So the dice for this set bring a lot of stuff. And I absolutely love it. It brings the tree, it brings little leaves, it brings some grass, like it brings a little jungle rope. I mean, it brings so many things, guys. And I absolutely love this, right? But it doesn't have kind of a um like the foliage of the tree, right? And I was like, I'm not going to like cut 40 of these to create some. I mean, that would look probably very spectacular, but that's a lot of work. And so I'm like, there has to be something, right? At some point I thought, okay, maybe I can do this, but that looked like banana leaves. So that did not work. Although we can create banana leaves, and now that it comes to. So bottom line, I'm like, okay, I need something else. And yes, that's how that came about. That it's the way things happen. So I'm going to put this one in here a little bit to the lower side, kind of like that. And I'm going to do this on dimensionals. Of course, we're going to be using dimensionals to create dimension. I'm going to cut these. And we're going to put some of these in here. I actually was thinking and have them out that most likely this is the easiest to use because it's they're straight. But since I have these here, I'm going to use these first. You guys know that. And I'm going to bring, so actually this is funny. I'm going to cut these a little smaller so it fits in one of those towards the end. And I'm going to cut a few, just like so it fits all through around, and it's not going to be, what would be the word of it? And I shouldn't have cut that one, but that's fine. Like unstable. It's not the word I'm looking for, but that's fine. And yes, this card is going to have a lot of dimension. You can, hey Melly, thank you. You can totally remove dimension from here, right? Remove these dimensionals and just put dimensionals on this one. Okay. Totally can do that. Let me bring, I do have my couple monkeys here ready. I have already colored them. So I have one that I'm thinking is going to be like kind of there. Like, oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Dara. Like, hanging out. If you want to get this moving, this friend here, I'm not going to today. Hey, Lavon, how are you? I would do a little hole in here and bring, oh my God, guys, how do you call these things? Wait. I have some in here. Well, use some of these thingies. How you call this? I forget how they're called. But you can totally bring these, put it in the, on the top of the monkey here, bring it in here, and then the monkey will have some movement. I'm not going to do that because that will require some extra stuff, and I'm not going to work on that right now. So I want my monkey there, coming from that piece of the tree or that part of the tree, kind of like that. Okay, so he's balancing, and I'm Brad's. Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate that. Oh, a wobbler. You know what? I was thinking of that on this one, and I actually have some wobblers. So bringing a wobbler, guys. Let's see if that works. This one is going to be static just because it's going to be underneath something, and so it won't wobble too much inside. So I'm going to bring my glue, and I'm going to glue this friend. But believe it or not, I think I want to put this first, now that I think about it. Sorry, guys. So I know exactly where I want my little monkey. I am so glad you like it. Isn't it like a funny idea? Yeah, I'm going to do this a little like there. Maybe there, so we can see a bit of that darker area there. So I'm going to bring this one a little bit lower, kind of like that. kind of like that. And then we'll bring our little monkey and we'll glue him right there. So swinging monkey. Thank you, Susie. Yes, Brad. I was like, what you say? Judy says she took music. Oh, come on, but music is so gorgeous. I wish I had some music knowledge. And this one is the last one that we're going to bring. Okay, so we have our little tree. Now, this one, you guys figured out, is going to need some extra help. And this is where these ones are going to be useful. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll do with one. But these are going to be useful because it's just straight, right? And there's no working extra on this friend. And let me bring this in here. I am not going to create the dimension into this one. I was thinking of that, guys, but now that I see it together, I think we have enough dimension with just that, enough depth is what I was thinking of, with just that, putting the dimensionals on the middle one. What do you guys think, right? This is not glued yet. So, because we can double stack this, and then this will be up here a little bit higher, but I just feel that there's no need for that. I'll wait till you guys let me know. I'm going to leave that there. In the meantime, let's work with our friend in here. And this is also cut at 4, so it should all be in the same, and I just turned this, okay. I was thinking, where do I want my sentiment, right? And the ideal place for the sentiment will be in here because, of course, I love, and I think that's the only one I have used of these. Sentiment is the one that says swinging by to say for whatever reason, guys. It's the one I've used. Like, I don't make a lot of like bananas about you, and since I don't sell cards, right? And I have not used the little monkey for whatever reason. So now that I think about this, this is probably where it would be amazing to do the right. Ah, don't get glued in there. That's why I got you here to do the sentiment instead of creating another sentiment somewhere else. So there's no disruption in the card. Very simple. Enough dimension? Okay, okay. Thank you. I'm so glad you guys like it. So I am going to do something that I don't like because it's a waste. But I'm going to remove this so I can stamp on this. And let me bring, I'm going to bring here the Mento Black ink. That will probably look also super, super cute in white and embossed, but I don't want to keep us here all day long. And so let me bring this, hoping that we don't have any more issues today. Oh my gosh. I'm going to go same as I always do, guys. And remember what I said once, this stuff needs to be in the middle. Otherwise, this is what happens to me. It like kind of goes back and forth, and it's easier to just do that. And oh, to swinging, not good. So I'm going to bring my swinging bite to say hi. And I'm going to put that say hi, since you can tell it's a little bit smaller, kind of using these as a, what's the name of this? These curve. And yay! Sorry. I have to celebrate. I had to celebrate my winnings. Winning today, guys. Totally, totally winning. Oh my gosh. No internet issues. I'm looking for the this one here. Okay. So I am going to adhere this in here. I'm not going to put dimension on this one either. This is just so our little other monkey can stand. Okay, there it is. And I love the idea of the warblers. So because I have one, we're going to put him and he's going to be look. I love that. I love warblers, guys. I cannot lie. Okay, remember, Maria, remember, these are hard to play with. Oh my God, taking these off is like, they're convinced they need to stay there. Very convinced. Okay, I have one. And here we go with the other one. And this has and I'm going to put him in here. This has glue on its own. So I'm just going to put it in there. So I can then press well, because I should have done it differently, but since I didn't, Maria. Yeah, that's a good spot. Okay, it's just because this one is much harder to take. Thank you. Yes, it was perfect, guys. Oh my God, didn't we have some fun last Friday? Okay, once this is attached, this other one is easier to get off because sometimes it takes me a little bit. And now we just bring our cute little monkey in here. And ding, oh my God, I love the warblers. That is a funny thing. So let me cut another piece of our, just kidding, I still have these. What am I thinking, Maria? So let's see. We're gonna cut these, of course, in that middle piece. And I'm really going to go almost all the way there to the edge. The only reason I'm not going to the edge is because now I decided not to. And it's because I'm going to cut a tiny piece and make sure that it all falls all the way to the edge, guys. So I'm going to leave that there and bring this one instead. Because I don't know if you can tell, those are too thick. Oh, thank you. I am so glad you guys are liking it. And so they will be noticeable on the side, and actually that is noticeable too. Okay, there's one, and this one is way too big. So, and that one just jumped. And we're gonna bring this one in here. Okay, and now this is going to go, uh-oh, this got stuck to my finger. Oh, geez, okay, there it goes. So this one will go in here. We're gonna put some glue, and I am just going to put mainly glue on this big one because I know for sure that that's going to be attached to that. The others are like, I'll have to make sure which one is where. So because we have already some adhesive on the top, I'm just going to focus on these bigger area and then not worry about the rest. And let's take this out. So according to me, we were going to do 2 cards. Isn't that just so funny? The way I calculate time is 2 die 4. Okay, there you go. Ta-da! And now we can adhere our, okay, this could have been a little bit towards there. There it goes. Tiny bit, tiny bit. Don't get disrupted. We're going to bring these and adhere this in our card base. I should actually have put this in, whoa. See, and that's why Glue and I, guys, I try, guys, but we're just not good friends still. Not yet. Sure like each other, but not there all the way to best friends. Okay, there's that glue. And ta-da! Oh my God, that is so freaking cute. That is so nice. So I really like this background of flowers. I know of leaves. I know it makes it just so much simpler. I do have another piece for here. And my thought is we are going to we have some time. Let me bring, did I have him on? Maybe I don't have him on. Yeah, well, we just need one. So I'm just going to bring one of our little monkeys and we're going to, and really all I'm going to do is putting him popping up. That's not enough Memento ink, Maria. I'm not sure what I'm thinking, but not. And that's one of the beauties, right? Oh, thank you. I am so glad you guys like it. One of the beauties of these polymer sets is that they're so much easier, right? So I'm gonna bring our monkey up here, just like popping up, maybe like that. And then we're gonna do some really quick coloring. And just because I want to talk to you a little bit of Copics as we get to know them, not Copics, I'm just kidding, of these blenders as we get to know them. So one of my favorite combinations is, these are all skin tones, and it's the skin tone 100, which is the darkest, and it comes paired with this one 900, I mean 200, but this one, and I'll show you guys here, this is why I think you guys need to like play with them, right? So if I bring my dark one, so that is 100, and then you bring the other one, see how much redder this tone is, and maybe we're really far away, but see how much redder this tone is. So let me see, there we go. So much red. Okay, he's not liking it. So much rather that second one to the left. And that's where I came up with, okay, you can probably mix and match this, right? So this is my 300. So see how it kind of like has these same tone colors. And this is 500, right? Always remember that when you color with Copics, you're, I keep saying Copics, guys, alcohol blenders. It doesn't matter the brand. You will always be using coloring all over the same area, right? Oh, I'm so glad you guys like it. So I'm just going to do some super quick coloring here. Things that I've known for the Copics. No Copics, guys. No Copics. Blenders, since you can see that I'm using blenders here. And it is that the brush tip, this one tends to be, well, tends to get really messed up pretty quickly. So that is something, don't use it. But also if you use, they tend to be more juicier. And so you have to be careful when you're using them. I'm going to bring my, this is number 300. And I'm going to put, since this kiddo is like, you know, little diagonal, I'm going to make this, not that, a little darker, just like that, right? Because this is where it should be darker, I guess. Okay, now back to 300, and I'm doing these really quick coloring, guys, because if I you probably know that I take my sweet time when coloring. But see that I'm always going over the area I had already colored. Okay, and I'm going to bring the, oh, I bet Miss Judy saying that the music has served her well over the years. Um, I I I know nothing of music except that I like it. And I honestly, I've always said this. Music is so much my, you know, like, oh my God, I think, and I think that happens to a lot of us. Like music definitely defines moments, right? Like, oh my God, yeah, I remember when we were doing whatever and whatever, and that was happening, right? And that music is always part of that. So notice, I'm going to move this to the center, that I am not coloring that yet. I'm going over, all over with my big brush tip because it makes it a little bit easier. But same as I was doing, I was saying this kiddo is like this way, right? Actually, this way. And so the light will be reflecting in here, right? I am not a technical person. So my thought is this whole area has to be darker. And then now, in order to fill that up, I come with just one brush stroke. Do you see that? So that's how you create some of those lighter areas. And let me bring it so you guys can see up close. See? Oh yeah. Tara was telling me that she sings. So maybe she can sing one of these days for us. And same I'm going to do here. I'm moving this up close here. Very softly, I'm going to bring the rest together. Because this side of the tail will be brighter, right? And we're going to do kind of the same thing in here. Going back. Whoops, wrong one. I'm using the nib for this one. Well, first of all, you guys already saw how messed up the other one is. But towards the edge of the ear, I'm thinking this part of the ear would be darker too. And I'm going to put some in here and maybe some on this side. And back to 300, right? And I'm going to actually use okay, question, guys, question. How do you call this thing? This tip. I know that one is brush, but I don't know how you call that one. Anyways, I'm going to bring that one because it's much smaller area and it's so much easier to use, right? If you use that point. Okay, and I'm going up with that one in here. And remember what I was telling you about getting to know your Copics. I'm going to give up on that. Your blenders. So look at this color. Who else is laughing at me? Because I keep saying Copics. And look at this color. This is the same 300. You see the difference? So that is important because it has happened to me many times that there's two different colors within the same blender. Why that happens? I have bullet point. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Susie. I don't know. I don't know. It's got to be, I have no clue. I would even lie to you guys. Like, I have no clue. But I'm going to say this. I sure make the most out of that. Because what that means for me, and again, I'm going darker in here because this is all going to be darker, right? What that means to me is that I have different tones of the same color to play with. In some of the things about blending with alcohol markers is that. And I'm going to do the same try in here. So we have one color. Oh, these are pretty similar. This was a little darker. So because that's a little darker, I'm going to start with that one. And back in here. And you see how I'm always going over the areas I had already colored. That serves two purposes. One is, of course, the blending, right? And the second one is that it also darkens, or not darkens, it also helps. I don't know how to say it, guys. Well, the blending. Let's focus on the blending. It helps these blend all in one uniform color. Not uniform because it would be the same color. I don't know how to say it, guys. But it will help create that illusion that things is darker. And getting lighter smoothly. One day I'll learn how to speak English and it'll be fine, guys. It'll be totally fine. Again, I'm going over all that area that I have colored already. And I'm going to color this all the way through. Okay. Going through again, through all that area. And now, just one stroke. And that's how you create those lighter areas. Okay, so these again, back again, this is just color combinations that I have played with over and over and over again and that I really like. I'm going to bring here this Skin Tone 800 and let me show you again. That's the brush. hues. Thank you, Susie. And this is the bullet. Look how different they are. I said it before. Why that happens? No clue. But I take most advantage of it. So I'm going to bring with my bullet point and just we're going to go around his face just to create that circumference. But this area is going to go a little darker, right? So I'm bringing further into his face with that, and this is just a tiny bit. Now we're going to bring our lighter tone, which is lighter because we're lucky, but that's fine. I'll take it. And we're going to just go same as we did before, over, over, and slowly go into the other areas so we don't color the eyes and have to color the eyes. Oh, I know, but it's just I make fun of myself. Thank you, Tara, though. I like to make fun of myself with that. And so we just have this happy friend, you know, kind of saying hi. And we're going to glue this inside. And you can put whatever in here. Right now you have in a, what's the name of this? A big area to write. I'm going to give you a couple of ideas if you're going to follow the, create these cards specifically that I may do, that I'm not doing right now because of the lack of time. This piece, so the pattern paper is 1/2 inch smaller. So let me bring this up in here, and there we go. So we'll see a little bit more of that pretty peacock. And the other thing I wanted to say is I kept thinking of stamping in here. Sorry guys, let me check this out. Stamping some bananas, right? That probably would look funny. So 2 things that I thought is like kind of a frame of bananas or 1/2 a frame of bananas. That would be so cute. We just don't have a whole lot of time because I keep talking and talking and talking. But that's your card. We made it, guys. We made it. Bottom line. And that would be a great idea to put your bananas here. You can put a sentiment here. The only thing that we're missing is some bling. And I'm not sure. Where are they? Those are not. So let's bring these ones. And I'm just wondering if these are too much. You know what? I'm going to skip those and go for some of these iridescent ones. I think these are super useful because they will take whatever color is underneath and it just like, they match so well, right? I know I've said this 100 times, guys. Always use what is easier for you. I love that they have these big ones. I really like them to bake. So I have one of each. Let's see, I'm going to put this one right there. Maybe, I don't know. He's holding it. He found some treasures. Oh my god, that is kind of funny. Sorry guys, I got distracted. Yeah, I'm gonna put this one up there to the corner just for fun. Thank you. Well, I am glad that you guys like this card. Super fun. We have a funny moving a monkey. These, again, you could totally move this if you wanted. But this one got to move. I have to move this a tiny bit later. But you will have to put some dimension between this layer and the other layers so the brad moves well, right? Or put them in here. Maybe that would be the solution. And then you won't have, you just put the dimension here. So you put them in here and leave that area without any dimensionals. That could be another option. But there you go. Woohoo! We're finished. Yay! Uh, oh, Tara, I have made so many cards with these monkeys. It is funny. Um, yeah. And I know that's the Jungle Pals. I'm just kidding, guys. And I'm gonna use this idea for one of the other cards that I'm gonna be making for Thursday because that's how these come about. Just finding some fun in there. Anyways, so ta-da! Cute little monkey saying hi. I absolutely love this. Okay, guys, let me come back up here. Well, guys, I really am glad, that we didn't have the internet gremlins and the elves that live in my craft room attack us tonight today. That is definitely a plus. I cannot tell you enough how much better that was than our previous experience. Oh, Brenda, I am so glad you guys like it. Anita, I'm so glad you guys like them. Uh, Louise, yes, it's funny, huh? Isn't it really funny? I like it very much. Let me put it back here. There it is. Anyways, it was just one of those needs, and that's how we get here. Okay. So again, thank you so much for being here. Just very glad we did not have any inconvenience today, and that our live went through smoothly. Tara, let me know if you want a link for the wobbles. I have them. Well, I have them to Amazon. So if you want to buy somewhere else, but I do have a link to those wobble thingies. And well, I hope I inspired you to look at your dies and see what else can you use them for and how can you, get the most out of your buck, as to say. I always forget how you say those. I need to stop saying sayings, using sayings, because I always mix and match sayings and they're not funny anymore. But anyways, bang for your buck. That's what. Oh gosh. Okay. Thank you guys for spending your Sunday with me. So Miss Judy says she calls them brush and nub. Well, see, nub is the word that I was thinking, sort of. But I kept calling it niv, and I'm like, I don't even know if that's a word. So that's why I rather ask. So bullet is fine. Nub is fine. But that's how you have to get to know your blenders, right? Like really a lot of trial and error. And guys, these that I showed you earlier, I do this all the time when I'm coloring. Otherwise it would be too difficult for me, for anybody to know exactly which colors you're using. So I do that all the time. Actually, this is going to be part of the class, but I do that with all my blenders this way. And that way, I have a starting point when I am going to start coloring something. I'm like, oh, okay. So I know that Calypso Coral, the brush behaves like this and the bullet behaves like that. And so I'm able to play with those a lot. Okay. Thank you again. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and you have, the best Sunday ever. Thank you, Miss Brenda. Bye. And then I wish that your week starts amazing and continues amazing all week through. And I'll see you Tuesday. Okay? Thank you and God bless you all. Thank you very much.